You ever stand out in your field, early in the morning, coffee in hand, and just know somebody's about to ruin your day? That's how it was for me, standing at the edge of my cornfield, staring at fresh tire tracks, again, slicing right through 3-month-old stalks like they were nothing but grass under a lawnmower. Fourth time this week. Mud flung everywhere, corn crushed, like somebody decided my hard work was just a shortcut for their own convenience. And not just anybody. No, these tracks always led straight back to Victoria Peton, the HOA treasurer with a designer purse in one hand and a sense of entitlement in the other. Her husband ran the HOA, which, in her mind, must have made my land her personal driveway. She'd wave around this nonsense about easement rights, but I knew for a fact she didn't have them. That's not just a hunch. I'd paid a good lawyer to make sure. I'm Marcus Chun, 47, cattle rancher, proud owner of 80 acres in rural Nebraska, and yeah, I bought this land specifically because it was outside HOA control. You'd think that would matter, but folks like Victoria, they don't see boundaries. They see obstacles. By the end of this story, let me tell you, Victoria's $90,000 Escalade would be sitting on 4 flats in the middle of my corn, her lawyer begging me not to press charges, her whole world unraveling. But we'll get there. First, drop a comment. Tell me where you're watching from and what time it is, because these stories always hit different depending on where you're standing, you know? If you're not subscribed, you should probably fix that now, because this one goes places. So, let's back up a sec. 3 years ago, I left a 25-year stint in logistics, burned out, tired of fighting over shipping manifests and performance metrics. I wanted peace, a little bit of freedom, and land I could actually call mine. The property was a dream. Rolling hills, a creek, rich soil, a half-mile gravel drive I maintained myself, and, most important, no HOA oversight. Neighboring me, though, was Meadowbrook Estates, the kind of gated community where people pay $700 a month for rules about mailbox color and grass height. Victoria and her husband, Richard, ran that place like a little kingdom. She threw parties, drove luxury cars, and, according to my neighbor Dale, acted like she owned the whole zip code. 6 months ago, it started. First time, I was checking cattle, heard an engine, and bam! White Escalade, barreling through my corn like it was a country road. Second time, same thing. Third time, I was ready. I parked my truck to block her, and she just laughed at me, told me there was an easement from the 60s, and I should check the records. You're new here, you wouldn't understand. Then she drove right through my field again, sunglasses flashing. That kind of arrogance, it sticks with you. So, I called my lawyer, Jim. He ran a full title search, came back 2 days later. No easement, Marcus. None. She's trespassing. So I figured that would settle it. Send a cease and desist, mark the property with big, reflective NO trespassing signs, certified mail and all. Victoria's response. She tore my letter up and threw it out her window, right in front of me. So I called the sheriff. Deputy Morrison came out, took one look at my ruined corn, the tire tracks, the receipts, the photos. He actually listened. But he told me, unless he caught her in the act, it was a civil issue. She spun some story about me harassing her and faked up some old-looking documents. Deputy Morrison shook his head. He believed me, but his hands were tied. You'll have to take her to court, he said. And that's when I realized, sometimes the system isn't enough. Especially when you're up against people who think rules don't apply. Victoria doubled down. Twice a day, every day, her Escalade thundered through, spooking my cattle. I lost a calf, my best heifer. Miscarried from the stress. For $1,500 gone, and the vet confirmed it was the constant noise. Dale, my neighbor, saw it all and offered to testify. I tried everything legal. More letters, more calls. Police reports, documentation up to my eyeballs. Victoria? She escalated. Started honking, flooring it through the muddiest parts, clearly taunting me. Then she cut my chain and lock with bolt cutters. I caught it all on trail cam, showed it to the deputy. Finally, a clear crime. But even then, I was told, it'll take months and a pile of money to win in court. And even then, good luck collecting. The HOA's lawyers started sending threatening letters. Jim, my lawyer, sent back what he called the legal equivalent of a middle finger, but Victoria just kept coming. You ever get pushed so far you start thinking outside the box? That's when I found out about spike strips. Yeah, the kind police use. I did my homework. Asked Jim, can I legally deploy spike strips? On my own land. He said, gray area, but if you warn her clearly and document everything, you're on solid ground. So, that's exactly what I did. 30 big warning signs every 50 feet. Certified letters, photos, GPS stamps, everything logged. I even notified the sheriff in advance. No one could say I hadn't tried every reasonable step. Monday morning, 7:15 a.m., there she was. Right on schedule, didn't even slow down for the warning signs. The Escalade hit the first spike strip, pop, pop, front tires gone. She kept going. Rear tires, pop, pop, still rolling. Second strip, metal on metal, more damage. Third and final strip, nothing left but shredded rubber and busted rims. She finally stopped, stranded dead center in my field, engine running, fuming. I called the sheriff. Active trespasser, vehicle disabled by posted deterrents. Then I walked out with my documentation, phone recording, every scrap of proof I'd collected. Victoria? She went ballistic. Accused me of attempted murder, called her husband, her lawyer, anyone who'd listen. Deputy Morrison arrived, listened to both sides, reviewed my folder, checked the mail receipts. And signs. When Victoria claimed she had rights, he asked for proof. She had none. I pressed charges. Her face drained of color. Suddenly, all that confidence was gone. While we waited for the tow truck, she called Richard, but he didn't pick up. Her lawyer told her over the phone, I told you not to use that route anymore, Victoria. She paid the tow driver $650 to get her Escalade hauled away, hands shaking. Deputy Morrison added my vet bill to the complaint. That was the end of the shortcut, for her, at least. But here's the twist. The community found out. Turns out, Victoria had been paying her personal legal bills with HOA money, shopping and spa trips, the whole 9 yards. Another board member, a woman named Patricia, started asking questions. The HOA ran an audit, and it all blew up. Victoria and Richard both got suspended. The police opened an investigation, and suddenly, trespassing was the least of Victoria's problems. She pled guilty, got hit with $8,500 restitution, a restraining order, and then criminal charges for embezzlement. Richard filed for divorce. The HOA leadership flipped. They sent me a letter of apology. My farm was quiet again. Now, I sit on my porch, coffee in hand, watching my cattle graze in peace. The spike strips are packed away, and the corn grows back where it was trampled. Victoria? She vanished, her legend living on in local gossip. People like her, they always think they're untouchable until the world pushes back. Sometimes, karma just needs a little documentation and a legal nudge. You ever had someone act like the rules don't apply to them? Tell me your story in the comments. What did you do? How'd you handle it? And what did you learn? If you like this kind of real-life justice, hit subscribe, because next week, I've got another wild one for you. Remember, stand your ground, document everything, and trust that accountability catches up eventually.